Well, thank you for joining me on a guidance. I hope it's under their guidance even Thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe to my channel and follow me on social media plugged in on your screen right now. Thank you, and stay healthy, stay happy.